All right, so I work with a lot of traders, and about 90% of people skip this step and they blow up their account. In fact, a lot of people are blowing up their account because they're skipping some steps in order to scale properly. So I'm going to share with you some insight here in this video, a step-by-step process of how to scale a strategy or concept in order to go ahead and get the consistency or the results that you want. Stay tuned with me. We're going to get started. I'm Sasha, the options coach. If you're brand new here, I've got a lot of training videos. Check out our website at optionsblackbelt.com. All right, so let's kick things off first. In terms of process to scaling, how do we go in and start scaling our trades, our money, our investments? How do we do that? Well, the first thing is you start with an idea. Now, before you even get to that idea, you have to have a concept of a trade strategy, whether this is kind of like a long-term investment strategy. It could be like I'm trading vertical spreads. Could be calendar spreads, any kind of option trade that you have, whatever it is. It could be in the form of technical analysis, like, hey, after 3 green bars, I buy this or I do that. So whatever the case is it based on charts? What is the idea that you have for trading? So this also means you need to have some basics in the form of, okay, this is how I could take advantage of this concept, this strategy in order to make money. So once you have that idea, okay, then you're going to do some back testing. Now, you could technically skip this step. I know some people are going to say, no, you can't skip back testing. You got to do the back testing. Sometimes there are Monte Carlo simulations that you actually do forward testing. That's one way to go about it. Or the other process behind it is, rather than doing the back test, you could actually trade small and do forward testing that way. So I don't think you have to look at it in the form of you got to do a back test. You got to have some software for that. So I think you could skip one of these steps, whether that's skip the back test and do trade small and do the testing that way. Because I've got some people that I've coached over the years where they have call it a significant amount of capital, and they're okay to trade a small size to do some forward testing with some actual live money. Okay. Other people are a little more concerned or cautious. They want to hang on to the back test. And then, the people with more capital, they might want to just trade small and do that process for a month, a couple months, or get 20, 30 trades under their belt. And they're okay with that. So the point here is to get some data. Your objective is to get some data. And once you have some of that data, then you'll be able to see the results. Once you have those results, then you can go in, improve those results. Now that improvement cycle takes time. So what you're going to do is you're going to constantly get a version of your trades, your trade results, your data, and then you're going to go ahead and refine it. So once you refine it, then you go ahead and change the idea or one concept, and then you go back, change to the next version and refine it. You do that process time and time again. So rather than, going in and trading big right off the bat, you have to have that improvement cycle where you continue to repeat and iterate new versions of that. And by the way, I do have a trading version tracker. If you're interested in it, go to our website and grab it. It's going to be called the Trading Strategy Evolution. You can get a bunch of worksheets and even a video training specifically for that. But you do want to go in and evolve that strategy. Think of the iPhones or any phone device. They didn't start with version 75. So instead, they might have went to version, version 3G, then you go to version 3GS, then you go, version 6, 7, with the iPhone 8, whatever the version numbers are. They went through this process and then they got to the new version. It keeps improving. It keeps iterating, right? Technology keeps growing. And that's the same thing you want to do with your trading. You're not going to be able to step it up from version 1 to version 50. You have to keep iterating it a little bit at a time until you're comfortable to where you're at with that strategy. And then maybe in some points and cases, it may make sense to go to another strategy to build kind of new diversification or concepts. And then after that is when you can actually scale up. And that's when you have kind of more things where you can ramp up. That's when you go in, hey, I've already proven things to myself that it actually works. Then you can go in and start scaling it. That's when you can go in and ramp up the capital. So if before you were doing a test with, let's say, $2,000, well, now you can start ramping it up. You might say, okay, now let me do a test with $6,000. Then I'm going to ramp it up with $20,000. Then maybe $100,000. But do it in stages as well, because as you hit different capital limits, you may discover there's different problems and issues. It could be filling on the contracts or the orders. It could be getting out on them. It could be managing them. There's going to be different situations and problems that arise even with scaling. But now at least you're starting to ramp things up because you've already done a few different versions and iterations of it. So when it comes to people and going through, a lot of people go in and they have an idea. And what most of them will do is they have an idea and they might trade small at the beginning. So they'll go from idea to trading small. And then what they'll do is they'll scale after that. They will usually skip kind of the improvement stage or the back testing stage. Or in some cases, I've also seen where people have an idea and they just trade big because, hey, they've got the money. They think they know what they're doing. They might have studied some things online, but they haven't really proven that concept and they haven't really tested things out with trading small or little bits and pieces. So this is the process you want to take when it comes to scaling, right? You go from the idea to the back test, trade small, and then you go in and have an improvement cycle, and then you scale and ramp things up. Anyways, there's a ton of great freebies on our website. Check it out. We've also got a ton of classes there. So if you're interested in the classes and the worksheets, check it out on our website. Anyways, thanks for joining me, and I will see you on the next video. Take care.